Rebel. Babe, can you see that? Snapchat, Instagram, Uchikila.
Hi, I was gonna say Hararians, and I was like, no, that's not what I want to say.
She already forgot who you are.
Imagine. Sorry. Okay. Hi, our Rangers. How are you doing? See, I got it. Our Rangers, right?
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So we call our fans and our viewers and our friends and our community.
They are family.
Yes, but we also have fans.
No,
in the family, then there are the others that are fans.
I'm
then
kidding,
the others that are like people in the neighborhood. Yes, so anyway, hi everybody. Welcome to her hour. As you know, this is Vera. If it's your first time watching, I am Vera. For those of you who know, what's up? And my lovely co-host.
Guys, I'm being eaten by a mosquito. Sorry. What is my name again? I'm joking. My name is Jordan.
Jason.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, and then we're joined here by this lovely, beautiful lady that I had the honor of meeting, who's doing amazing work. You can introduce yourself.
Hi everybody, I am Tafadzwa. What else do you want me to say?
You can, okay, we'll introduce the topic and then we'll get into what you do, because that's connected to the specific topic. So today we're talking about mental health. I think this is something that's very close to me.
Me too.
Very passionate about it. I think we're all very passionate about it. We all have a lot of mental health experiences, I like to say that.
Right.
Not issues, because I think when you say issues, it already puts it in a negative light.
Right.
So we all have like mental health experiences, and I think it's something that we don't talk about enough. I think in society, especially in the Zimbabwean society, we do not talk about mental health enough. We don't pay enough attention to it. We don't give enough light to it. And you know, I've seen some shocking statistics about the rise in suicide in Zimbabwe. You know, the rate of people just, you know, that just can't handle a lot of stress and things like that. So I think now we can dive into the introduction, and you can tell everybody the kind of work that you're doing, which I think is amazing.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, it's quite sad, as you say, that in our Zimbabwean setting, and not just Zimbabwean setting though, it's African setting, we have not been socialized or raised to openly talk about mental health. It's taboo. The moment you start talking about mental health, people look at you funny, like, no, don't bring that stuff here. Like,
Don't bring that here.
Nah. Like white people problem.
Yeah, like no, we don't do that stuff. Like, we're okay. You know, you can handle stuff. But we're living in a world where, especially in Africa, we're walking around zombies, so to speak, because we've got so much that we deal with. You wake up to a situation, you go to work to a situation, or you get out of the house to a situation, or you're in the house and there's actually a situation. So it's all around us, and what we do, who we are Sold Africa. Sold being an abbreviation for someone always listens to you. To you is one word. And we like to use it interchangeably, where we say, look, if you look at what salt is to us in the community, in the household, it's used for medicinal purposes, it's used for flavoring, it's used for even what mental health is believed to be in our African setting, which is ngozi, or like, you know, evil spirits. So salt does chase away evil spirits, if you believe in that. So that is who we are, and how we are different is we have said, look, hang on, mental health has been there since humans existed, because it's a package. We come with the mind, and every single decision that we make starts in the mind, obviously. So what health are we talking about if we cannot talk about mental health? Because every single thing that we do or how we feel starts in the mind. So what we do as Sold Africa, we've said, hang on, how many people will actually just wake up and say, hey Jordan, I'm not okay, can you take me to a shrink? So like that's what we called. And next thing, Jordan will be looking at me funny and being, girl, you can't be going to a shrink. Like, what's wrong? You know, shrink is like, it's a death sentence.
Yeah.
So that we have we have seen that to be coming from our fear, for lack of a better term, of how mental health has been perceived. And this is because all the text, most if not all the text that is available is all Western prescribed. But we're dealing with our own African situation. Right. What can we do as Africans? I mean, we know what bothers us, we know what we go through, and there are activities in place. If you look at the rural African setting, which is pretty much the same from Cape to Cairo, we have a lot of similarities in the way we do our day-to-day activities, in the way we live. And why is it back then it wasn't so profound? Yes, you can say there was no social media and there was no internet. Yes, that is a plus to it, but there are so many ways in which we as Africans can solve our own African problems. And also as South Africa, we're just there to say, hang on, every person has the ability to deal with their issues. You just need to channel them correctly. Positivity all the way through. And we have solutions within us. But you're just second guessing yourself, like, can I do this? Is this the right thing to do? So that is pretty much what we do.
Right. That's perfect.
Yeah, that's great.
Right.
I think, have you found it hard? Because I think, like what we said when we started off, is that you find that as Africans, we have this idea that these are white problems. That like, you know, we don't do that. We don't talk to people about our problems.
Right.
If something is happening at home, especially like just looking at it from the point of view that, let's say it's a situation at home, that we just say that, no, we deal with it internally. But then what do we do when we can't deal with the problem internally? We can't deal with this problem at home. We have to deal with it, like, you have to talk to someone. And like, so I guess, have you like faced those kind of struggles, like with the work that you're doing? I'm, you know, trying to get people to believe in the thing that it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to outsource for help, because sometimes, you know, your direct circle can't give you that help, and even a friend, a good friend, an aunt or whatever, they can't give you the help that she needs. And sometimes you need to actually talk to a professional because you are feeling a certain type of way, and sometimes you kind of go down this rabbit hole, like it goes from one thing to the next, and then like you actually get to a point where you're like, I can't positive think myself out of this. I actually need to get help. I need someone to get me out of this mind frame that I'm in right now.
I think we need to consider that every single person has a mind, a brain. And so as long as you have a brain in between your ears, you have mental health issues. I'm going to say issues because issues are things that need to be dealt with, and if you feel like you don't have anything to be dealt with, then that's an issue on its own, because everyone has their own set of challenges that need to be dealt with, and it's an ongoing process. It's an ongoing transition between becoming conscious of the power of your mind and taking control of that power and using it to benefit yourself. So I think definitely mental health is something that we need to take more seriously on this continent, in this part of the world, especially as Zimbabweans in our context. Mental health is something that is affecting every single Zimbabwean on a daily basis today. And it's being put onto us. Our mental health is being played with on a daily basis because there's people who are in a higher position of power who don't take our mental health seriously, but don't feel like these kind of things affect us on a deeper level than just the physical. Do you know what I mean? So,
okay, we have this mental health issue, right? We have, everyone has their mental experiences and everything. I don't know if you guys have had an experience. I think it would be pretty interesting for us to like share whatever you're comfortable, obviously, with sharing.
Right.
I'll definitely start off because like it's all about me, and that's my issue. But like,
no, she's not joking. She's not joking, guys. We're actually changing the name of the show to Vera's Hour.
Oh, wow.
I'm joking. No, I'm kidding.
Peace and love. So there was a time when I think it was maybe about 16, 17, and like when I was really like depressed, and you know, like what the scariest part about it, like now looking back at that moment, I didn't realize that I was depressed. I didn't know that I was going through a depression. I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't understand anything. I was sad all the time, and you know, it got to the point where I actually was suicidal. I attempted twice, and you know, I was in this hole And I did not know who I could talk to. I did not know, you have people and you're like, oh, I'm sad. And they're like, oh, you should pray about it. Oh, just be happy. And like, I hate that advice.
That's very insensitive.
Right? I hate
Very
that advice because I'm like, you can't tell me to just be happy because I can't.
Right.
Like, people need to understand that, everyone goes through depression. And
Right.
the worst thing about depression is why it's called depression. It means that you can't see the happiness,
Right, you're at the lowest
Intense
point.
levels of sadness.
Yes.
Like
Right.
worthlessness.
Right.
Yeah.
And like it was a really hectic time for me because also my parents were going through a divorce, so like there was just so much going on, and I think after like the second attempt that kind of didn't work well because my cousin was staying with us and I just found a bunch of pills and I just popped them and then I like wrote a note and everything, and like obviously it didn't work. And my sister found the letter like I think a few weeks later and she was like did you try and kill yourself? And I was just like, when someone kind of like calls you out and you're just like,
Did she say it with it like, how did she say it?
it wasn't even like a sensitive thing. It was like one of those like, dude, I saw your letter, like,
What was going on?
what were you
Like,
doing?
what's
Like,
up with that?
what was your
Right,
game
right,
plan
right,
with that
right.
whole thing? And like, I think the shame, which is unfortunate, but the shame is
Right.
what kind of forced me into a state where I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to get the help I need. I need to find a way to kind of deal with this. And this is when like, my songwriting, my poetry, I actually was very, poetic at that time. And I used to write a lot of poems. I was like, I just need to write it to get it out. So I can like get to a point where like I'm handling whatever I was going through at that time. And that's literally like what helped me out. So that's
Right.
my experience.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to divert, and obviously people watching will think, but that's not mental health. It's because of this belief that mental health is depression.
Only. Yes.
Or when somebody goes cuckoo,
Crazy.
like we want to call it on the streets, like, oh no, she's crazy, he's crazy. Check him into a rehab or something.
Yeah.
What I suffer from is post-trauma. I had a series of severe accidents, road accidents.
Oh, wow.
And so each time I get into a vehicle, like I feel uneasy. I get really feverish. As ridiculous as it may sound,
Yeah.
but that's what I battle with. And each time I talk about it, I get emotional because
Right.
it always was really fatal
Yeah.
all the time. And I would wake up, it would happen when I'm asleep. And then I would wake up and I'm in hospital and it's from ICU to HDU and people coming to see you. And you know how when people come to see you and they look at you and they're like, you're like, okay guys, what is going on?
Right.
Will I make it? So each time I get into a vehicle, it's like, all right, so what's gonna happen this time? Are we gonna make it? Like, will I get there alive?
Yeah.
Okay, so which hospital will it be? Will I live? Like, it's so many questions. And it may be something that's so simple, but then it becomes a lifestyle and it's not just the vehicle.
Yeah.
It could
Right.
be even slamming doors in the house,
Right.
or I get annoyed by
Right.
loud sounds, or I'm
Right.
just an irritable person. And it's because we never taught how to deal with it. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, she was involved in an accident, stitches, bandages, crutches, plaster, injections.
Yeah.
Oh well, she's alive, she's out. Next,
Yeah.
live.
Right.
But look, there's so much that I had to deal with. The stuff that I missed out on, stuff I was supposed to be doing, stuff I could be doing, but I can't because of the injuries that I sustained.
Right.
Yeah.
And I watch other people doing it, and I'm thinking, if only.
Yeah.
And then a part of me says, no, look, you're still alive, it's
Yeah.
okay. But deep down, I really feel I'm still angry at what happened, but it is called an accident for a reason.
Yeah.
Nobody wakes up
Plans
and says,
it out,
okay, you
like-
know what? I want this car to
Let's
crash.
Like I think today let's do a truck. Let's do a truck accident.
Yeah, you know, like what's it gonna be?
Right.
Which car is she in today?
Yeah, yeah.
Nah, no, let's wait. So
Right.
we never
Unless
taught.
it's like government plans.
Yeah.
Like that's a topic for another day. So I don't know.
So you know it's
Don't come
and I'm
for us.
sure is people are like is that what mental health is about? But yes, I
is.
battle with that every single day. I would choose to walk long distances than get into public transport
Yeah.
or drive or it's just been horrible.
Yeah.
And well, so
People were happy that your physical was healed,
Yes.
but they didn't think about your emotional state.
and even if you try to talk about it now, like people will be like, how old are you? Like, grow up.
No, you know what? I don't like that. I don't like
Grow
people who minimize people's experiences. I think that's something that's so reductive when it comes to mental health. I think at the end of the day, you need to be able to practice empathy. And if someone is telling you something, then you need to take that person's word, even if you've never been in that kind of a situation. That comes with being a human and comes with socializing.
Yeah, totally.
It's learning to take other people's words and respecting them in their space. Because it takes time for someone to move out of that space. You don't know what they are going through until it happens to you, guys.
It's 10 years on the 15th of September this year.
Right.
When I had...
And trauma will do that to you. Like, you will mark it on your calendar, your mental
it's a
calendar.
thing, right?
Right.
You know, I suffered from amnesia at that point.
Oh, wow.
But I can still... it's really intense. Like, I can still feel when it happened. I think a bit of how it happened. I don't know when the amnesia trigged in, but you know, certain parts of me deep down still feel, oh gosh, what really? And you know, you never get to understand. Okay, it was an accident, but what happened and why me? So when people trivialize people's emotions, like you rightfully say, like that is so hurtful because I'm dealing with it and I'm just trying to survive like everybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think for me, a personal experience would be the fact that I think it's something that I still deal with on a daily basis till now. Like, I have a lot of issues with people and I have a lot of trust issues. And so a lot of the time it's really hard for me to enter into relationships because I have like a fear of rejection. I'm very afraid of people telling me that I'm not good enough to be around them, or people telling me that I am not welcome there, because these are things that I went through in my childhood. These are things that I still go through on a daily basis with my experience, and it is what it is, but it's something that affects me. Sometimes I just don't want to go anywhere. Sometimes I just want to lie in the bed, and sometimes I don't even know I am crying, and sometimes but lucky for me, I have an outlet in poetry and in writing and in some of the close friends that I have and family, and I think if I wasn't able to utilize these modes of expression or modes of escaping. I used to escape in the wrong ways, like smoking weed or drinking or drugs in general. Like, I think that's a big thing in our society now.
Substance
abuse, escapism.
Really
everyone is trying to escape.
Right now.
Right.
I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was saying, she's like, I think everyone in Zimbabwe is an alcoholic. And you know, we laughed, but I was like, you're actually correct, because I was like, you can go out to a club and you can see someone like drinking, like every weekend they're drinking, or every day someone has like a bottle that they're taking home, and you're just like, you know, we just think like, okay, cool, and it's just drinks.
It's so normalized.
And then it's normalized now. It's like, oh, because we like to have a good time. But then like when you think about it, you're like, it's because someone, like the other time we were in this bar and this guy was like, no, I have to pass through the bar because at work I've gone through whatever I've gone through. At home my wife is like freaking out and my kids and everything, so he's like, this is like my time for me to like just not think about those two things, and then I can just go home and
I've
I sleep.
heard that so many times as well. Like, we don't want to think. Thinking is for work.
You just
not
numb
now.
everything.
Right.
But you know the sad thing,
that also, I'm so sorry, but that idea it puts a sad approach on your mind, on your mental health, because it sort of puts in this idea that you only use your mind for work, and using your mind is a task, and anything else relating to like using your mind is stress. It's too much. And that's problematic. It's very problematic.
Very.
It's
I was
damaging.
about to say, it's why I keep saying mental health is such an important aspect of our lives, is because fine, you pass through the bar because you're trying to avoid the wife and the kids, but when you get home you've got this woman that is yelling at you, and obviously she's thinking you have a girlfriend. It's not just the bar.
You've added on
so
to
it's another problem. And you know, it you start asking yourself, okay, so where does the cycle end, and how can we end it?
What's really interesting is that we all kind of mentioned like our ways of dealing with it, because I think sometimes it's great that, you know, someone can go and find a psychiatrist, a therapist, a counselor, but like, can we also think about like alternative ways? Like for me, I like to bead. That's like my...
Okay, you better bead.
When I'm at a point when like I can't think
and she's
anymore.
actually really good, guys. So.
I know, I've seen that. I was wearing earrings by Vera just a second ago, but then
we're trying to match with the colors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So like like I that's my outlet, and I can always tell that like I'm going through a certain thing, so I have to like I'll just take out my beads and I'm just making something. I might not know what it is, but like I'm just doing it so that my mind is kind of just like relaxing
occupied,
itself.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Not even occupied, but like doing something that's
like a distraction,
relaxing, and makes
and
me happy.
pacifying.
Exactly.
So
I don't think people give enough time for things that they like.
Yes,
No, because most of the things that we like are termed to be unconventional or societally unacceptable. Because people will say, "Oh, so Vera, what do you do?" Like, I be the way. Oh, okay. So Jordan, what do you do?
Right, it's like that's not a valid hobby,
right?
If it doesn't make
Yeah.
if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
No. So you see, within South Africa, we have what we call the Kuchanaya movement.
Okay.
And in Shona, Kuchanaya means it will rain. And loosely translated, it means it will get better. And the coming of the rains means everything is green. And when the rain touches the soil, it smells amazing.
Yeah.
So that is what we are basically saying. Like, look, Kuchanaya. And through that, we use art, be it the actual painting, drawing, letter writing, dance, music, song, the works.
Yeah.
So that is a healthy way of releasing that negativity that is within you, that controls you, that takes over you and your thought process. And like we're saying, we are redirecting negative energy into positive energy.
Yeah.
And we are unconventional. We don't say, okay, so we've got group therapy. Please come for group therapy.
Yeah.
Right.
We will say we've got drumming session going on. And within the beat of the drum, you release that tension, you release all the negative thoughts. And we want people to get comfortable because it's who we are as Africans.
Right.
I will not divulge what I'm going through, regardless of how many degrees you say you have.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
I just want somebody to talk to who understands me. Somebody I think I can trust or somebody I get comfortable with. So be it a drumming session, for example. We have a drumming session and then we just start talking about different things and everyone gets a chance to talk. Because like I said, we all have the power to control our emotions, to control our thought process. And I believe it's always mind over matter, but it has to be a positive mind because it then leads us into doing a lot of things which again society says no to. So art has been really therapeutic to a lot of people that we have worked with and even to myself. I love the stage. I'm an actress and when I'm on the stage and I'm in theater, don't ask me to do what I just did when I'm on the stage because it's a totally different experience and it's an outlet for me. And we need to start embracing that.
I agree. I think that's a good solution for people to cling to. I think if you feel like you are stuck or if you don't know what to do or find yourself wondering how you can find an outlet or get rid of what you're feeling at the moment, I think sometimes it's art. Sometimes it's finding something that makes you uncomfortable. Sometimes it's doing things that you're not used to doing. And in those spaces, you figure out new parts of yourself that you didn't know before. And so I completely agree with you. Art is a beautiful outlets. It's
And I
also
think
a
people
good
also
thing.
need to understand that it doesn't mean that you have to be good at the art for you to use it as an outlet.
Right.
You can be the worst, like not even have the words if you want to write poetry. It doesn't even have to rhyme. Like we're not looking for Shakespeare's here, but like just writing. Like you can just start writing out and like however it plays out, what you're feeling as you're writing it. It can be you singing, you find a song that resonates with you and you're just making noise in your house and you're singing. So you're like releasing. I think sometimes people just, you're like, well, I'm not a singer, I'm not a whatever. You don't have to be an artist to use art as a healing
for a record deal. From you.
And also you find unless you are having suicidal thoughts, it's not encouraged for you to take on the environment, because you could start getting ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
But another thing which we're big on is the power of the environment, the positive energy the environment releases. You find a lot of tourists come to Africa. It's not because of anything other than the fact that we have such beautiful air, birds, flora, fauna, you name it. Yes. So take a walk.
Yeah.
Like, just take a walk. Obviously not where there are buildings and stuff, because that will just,
It's redundant.
the buildings have drawn energy into themselves, and as you walk in a place that is heavily constructed, your energy is actually being drawn away from you.
Oh, wow.
So if you take it to the environment, even sitting and staring at an odd green plant, and yes, people may call you cuckoo, but what you're looking at is not what people will will say, okay, this is right and this is wrong.
Right.
Instant gratification, personal gratification from what makes you feel better, because with mental health, you are important, and how you feel, your thought process, and what you then do after that is very important.
Yeah, like, I think some of the solutions is that also we need to stop having so many stereotypes around people with someone who openly comes out to say that I have, I've been suffering from depression, or I have PTSD, or whatever it could be, like even I have OCD and things like that. Like, I think sometimes there's so much animosity around people that are open about their mental health issues, their mental health experiences, and because of that, that's what makes it harder for someone new to find help. The negative things I hear about people, like when people talk about suicide, they're like, oh, it's a selfish decision. I think maybe it's because I was at that point. I'm like, you know what? It's not selfish. I was like, you don't
at
get
that
it.
moment, it makes a lot of sense. Which is why when
right.
your sister asked you, there was so much shame associated with it, because you were no longer in that space. You could have said, oh my God, where did you find that letter? Let me tear it up. Because it's not making sense to you now as it was then. So a lot of times we also discourage people from labeling. Like, no, I suffer from depression. Okay, how do you know you suffer from depression? I think it sounds fancy, and I've noticed that it's now
being
huge.
glamorized.
Yes, mental disorders are being glamorized on social media by people who think, oh, it's cool for me to say I suffer from PTSD.
Oh, I'm bipolar.
I'm bipolar. Exactly.
But not to minimize people who actually have these situations.
Yes.
But it's not a trend. It's not something
No,
to
it
think
has
that you
to
can just
stop.
hop on.
It has to stop.
Right.
Where some illnesses become trendy because it looks cool, or it sounds cool for me to say I'm suffering from this. Because also what it does is, if you remember, I asked, I don't want to be big and fancy, because I think big and fancy is what has led us to this cancer that people continually want to say, I suffer, oh, I'm bipolar. And think it's cool to say that. There are people who are actually suffering from it, who have the diagnosis. We should stop self-diagnosing, because it actually ruins you, and it also, you start living bipolar, and the unfortunate bit is you don't know how to control it, you don't know how to work around it, and you actually don't know how to act when you're bipolar, because you are not. This is something you've read off the internet, and you say, oh, okay, so I think I'm this, or because it sounds fancy.
Because so Kanye West is
yes, and I like rap, so it means I think I'm also bipolar. So it's sad, but the internet has come with heaven and hell. And for mental health, it is such chaos, because we want validation from social media. Because Vera wears those earrings, I have to get them. Why can't I have them? I also want them. She has lots of money. She only has that one pair, but she just knows how to wear them. So we also need to learn how to control ourselves on social media, because it leads us to like such a horrible place.
I agree completely.
I think the issue with like talking about mental health, like I think a lot of the topics that we've been picking are things where we can't just have
this definitely needs a part 2.
One part, it has to be a part 2, part 3, part 4. And what I love about this specific episode is that we didn't just call a psychiatrist or psychologist to come in and sit and talk to us, but we have someone who's actually using community, working with the community, using things that they can understand. Because sometimes when you come with a therapist or whatever, the community can be like, it's intimidating. But you're like, no, we're just gonna do drum theater, and then it turns into a group therapy session. You know?
I'm often asked, are you qualified? I am very qualified. I actually have a title to it, but I'm one person who does not believe in titles, because titles are not the solution. It's what I've learned at school and what I've seen in my community, which is relative to what I've learned, and how then to embrace the solutions that I've seen growing up, or stories I've heard from relatives, family, friends, the community, and use those as our solutions.
So I think to sum up the conversation for today, I think one of the things we can definitely take away is that, guys, let's start. I think it's okay not to be okay. I love that song by Jessie J. That's actually okay. Be aware of yourself. Sometimes you can tell that I'm not okay. I'm not in a good space. And sometimes you need to take time to just be in touch with your body so you can know when you're feeling off, when something is triggering you. And, if you can avoid certain situations that do trigger you, stay away from them and find something to... that's your therapy, self-therapy. I think that's important. It can be you doing your nails. It can be you, massaging your hair, massaging your feet, whatever it is.
Or massaging your boyfriend. Or your girlfriend. Or your whatever.
Whatever, your person, walking your dog. Let's
massaging yourself.
Yeah, let's look at self-care very importantly. And let's have sessions. Let's have a friend circle where we also don't judge each other. Where I know that I can call Jordan and be like, girl, today's a bad day. And I just know that you're going to come and sit with me in my blankets and just be there, even in the silence, and just be like, girl, it's okay, I understand, and things like that. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You are just the coolest.
It has been amazing.
Please do make sure you follow Salt Guys on social media. The information should be somewhere here on the screen, and in the and in the description below as well. We're also going to put so that you guys can just find out more about what they do and everything. And also Tafadzwa's personal handles, if she's willing to share with everybody.
They'll be on the screen.
Yes, so make sure to follow us, join the conversation, write in the comment box. If there's anything you guys want us to talk about in the part 2 of this episode, if you want us to bring her back, let us know.
If you'd like to come on as well.
If you want to come on as well and speak from your experience, that would also just be super great. I don't know if you want to say anything, girl.
No, I'm thank you so much. Our Rangers, oh my God. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank
we
you.
Love you
guys.
Be safe, love yourselves, and
And remember, you are imperfectly perfect.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just perfect.
Bye.
I'm joking. No, I'm playing. I'm really not.
Tonight we must paint this town. Queen of hearts and maybe gentry. Or maybe we can do motor action. Gango pazindoka okuro